down there, Disney. Oh my gosh. Sora joins the battle. New stage, new music. And hey, there's a spirit event. Okay. Version 3.0. Yeah, no, I don't have that, obviously. I should have Sora. And yep, that's the Full Fighters Pass Volume 2. Judd Hat. Octoling Wig. Again, you could have told me those were in the game and I would have believed you. Doomslayer, I probably should get, but I didn't yet. Because I just booted... This is obviously the first time me booting up the game, and... Yeah, I will at some point, but just not right now. Which is weird, because I've been one of the big proponents for... Like, I really wanted Doomslayer, and yet... I'll get the Mii costume when I get around to it. Nothing's easy on the eShop. It never is. It's so weird. The eShop doesn't have a... I know Smash Bros. Has a cart, but, like, you can't add things to a cart in the eShop. That's just one of those things that Nintendo still hasn't figured out. And it's so annoying. Because I've wanted to buy multiple games at one time. So normally we'd come in and we'd be like, oh, hey, let's talk about the thing, shall we? Right, normally I come in, we do our intro, just like what's going on. Yeah, sure. But, there they are. I want... Yep, there we go. Timeless River. God, favorite costume. I want to at least get a little bit of Sora. Yeah, normally we come in and we do like a, hey, like, this is what's going on. This has been the news, or this has been what I've been up to. Yeah, I've got none of that today. Or, well, I mean, there's probably stuff we could talk about, but I'm just not going to. For the past few weeks, there's been like, I don't know, like 1 or 2 news stories. Yeah, this week I have a bunch of news stories. So we're just going to talk about a bunch of news stories this week. Because guess what? There's a bunch of them, and I kind of want to talk about... I mean, some are going to be shorter than others, and some are definitely going to be longer than others, that's for sure. But yeah, we have a fair bit of news this week. A lot of fun stories. Oh gosh. Okay, so I kind of don't... So Sora's interesting. Definitely, the floatiness I feel. I guess I'm surprised I haven't honestly been knocked out yet, because Sora gets knocked out at like 50%, I guess. But yeah, so we're just going to jump right into the news, shall we? First story of the night is Minecraft Live was last week. And I'm still big into Minecraft. We're kind of... I don't know, it's a little complicated, but we're kind of in a Minecraft renaissance right now. It's a little bit more complicated than that, obviously, but like, Minecraft is big and popular nowadays. The Nether update was really popular. People were super excited for Caves and Cliffs, even if Caves and Cliffs has been delayed like an infinite number of times. I know people were excited for it, at least. Oh, gosh, I did it the wrong way. Yeah, I know people were excited for Caves and Cliffs, and Caves and Cliffs Part 1 came out. And to be fair, I think people were pretty underwhelmed by it. I was. Because one of the things is Minecraft, kind of like how I complain about Pokemon, where, oh, Pokemon's the biggest game in the world. Or Pokemon is the largest multimedia franchise in the world. And yet it doesn't, like, the games are just kind of underwhelming. That's Minecraft. Minecraft is the most sold game in the world. And yet, the game doesn't really get that many updates. And, like, the updates are very sparse, to say the least. Like, how, like, I know, I've been playing since beta. Beta 1.4 or 5. So I've been around a long time. And yeah, admittedly, updates were always kind of sparse, but they feel more sparse recently. Or at least that's right. Like, I would think they would be able to do more. Oh, I thought I threw the chicken at... Oh my gosh. But yeah, but I still love me some Minecraft. I'm super excited for the Caves and Cliffs update when that comes out at the end of the year. Because that's going to be great. Because it looks like it's going to be fun. But Minecraft Live was last Saturday, so I guess let's... Yeah, we lost that. Yeah, Sora's weird. But yeah, let's talk about that. So the first thing is that Minecraft Java and Bedrock Edition are coming to Game Pass. The big surprise there is, of course, Java Edition. But that's really cool. I think it's actually really great. Okay, let's do some spirits. I think it's really great that Java Edition is coming to Game Pass. Because, you know, Game Pass is pretty cool. Okay, we'll worry about that. And yeah, there's so much stuff you can do on Java Edition. And of course, I have Game Pass for another 3 days, I think. Something like that anyways. So, again, I've bought Minecraft or Java Edition twice because my original account got stolen. So I had to rebuy the game at one point. It was stupid as hell. Like, that still kind of pisses me off that I lost my original account, but whatever. That was like 6 years ago now. Because Minecraft has been out a long time. But hey, coming to Game Pass is a great addition. Next up, they're talking about how so with the new update, there's going to be deeper worlds, which the new update they confirmed is coming out sometime before the end of the year, which we kind of already figured, but yeah, they confirmed it's coming out before the end of the year, and that's cool. And as part of it, world generation, like, because now there's a new world height, which is cool, but there's also a new like world like limit, like how deep worlds can go. We're gonna stay on the screen for a minute because there's at least like 3 spirits I'm missing, so at least I think so. But there's a new world, the depth, and now and as part of the new update, pre-existing worlds will now generate with that new world depth. That's cool. I know their snapshots are getting closer and closer to being finished. Of course, there was always hope that we'd start now getting all the shulker stuff and the warden and whatnot. But they did announce that, hey, no, that's being delayed, and we'll talk about that next. The only other thing is seed parity. Not parody, but parity. So basically, if you use a seed to generate a world on Java Edition, that same seed will generate a near identical world on Bedrock Edition. That's really cool. I don't know. I've seen some crazy worlds on Bedrock Edition, probably none of which exist anymore because of the new update. Or at least they will exist once the new update comes out. Oh, that one's pinned. I've never seen that before. But yeah, I think seed parity, that's another cool thing. There are still a bunch of features on Bedrock Edition that are just missing on Java Edition. And that kind of sucks. Like, I want some of those features there. And they're all, like, stupid ones as well. Like, the banners on maps. Like, if you place a banner in your world and click on it with a map, that banner will now appear on the map. That's in Java Edition. And for some reason, it's not in Bedrock Edition. Like, because I do play Bedrock Edition. I like the fact that if I have someone on Switch and someone on Xbox and someone on PlayStation and someone on PC, we can all play together. That's why I play a lot of Bedrock Edition, and that and my computer's not all that great. I mean, it runs Minecraft fine enough, but, like, not well enough that I could stream it, obviously, because I would have. But yeah, no, that's more parody things, that's cool. But then that brings us to the news. The next update, 1.19, is the Wild update. Okay, so the big thing, they announced that the pottery... Okay, so the big thing is the Deep Dark Cities has been delayed from this new update to 1.19, which is coming out next year. That kind of sucks. Again, I'm glad... I said this when the Caves and Cliffs update got split into 2. I'm glad the staff is taking their time and not crunching. That's a good thing. So all my complaints are kind of superficial because I'm glad the staff is in a healthy work environment. But at the same time, Minecraft is the best-selling game of all time. You think maybe you could hire more staff? Oh, I don't know. I'm not a businessman for this exact reason. And hey, as long as they aren't crunching their current staff, I don't know. Like, you know, and at least Minecraft does like snapshots and whatnot. So like we'll have this stuff before long. Like probably as early as like January or February of next year, we'll have all this stuff. But you know, I would just it just blows me away. It's the same thing with Pokemon. Now, part of it I do get, because I know, oh gosh, what's his name? King B-Dogs has talked about when doing Minecraft updates. One of the things is you want to keep the tone of the default Minecraft there. Like, you can't go off and do, like, too many crazy things, because then that changes Minecraft. And there's this certain, like, tone that Minecraft has that you can't change, or at least he's trying not to, and I get that. And so far, everything they add in seems to kind of be keeping that theme and that tone and not straying too far. Do I kind of wish they would add in some crazy stuff and maybe change up the feel of the game a little bit? Because that's something that, especially Minecraft's over a decade old now, and you can easily fall into like the trap of like, oh, well, we shouldn't do this change because that's not how Minecraft has ever worked before. And yeah, but that also stifles innovation. That's the problem with Pokemon. The Pokemon, like you see like a series like Zelda. Zelda came in and was like, you know what, we're gonna do some new and different things. They aren't traditional Zelda, but we're gonna take a risk and see if it pays off. And that's how we get Breath of the Wild. Pokemon Company, on the other hand, tried to do that, and it didn't. Supposedly, this is the stories that have been passed around, is that the Pokemon Company wanted to do something like that, but when they brought in a bunch of new people, the new people were like, "Oh no, we don't actually want to." Oh look, see, there's a spirit. We don't actually want to change anything. Like, there's a certain way Pokemon should be played, and like, oh, if we were to like change real time or turn-based combat to real-time combat, well, that's not Pokemon anymore. And I think that's a big problem that's happened to Pokemon. Is that they've kind of lost that. Like, Pokemon really needs to innovate, and they are trying. We'll talk about the new Pokemon in Legends Arceus in a little bit. And there's some news about Legends Arceus that I meant to talk about last week that I just kind of forgot about. But yeah, so that does have me worried. Like I don't need Tekkit in Minecraft, like default Minecraft. I mean, it'd be cool, but like I don't technically need it. But they can do some new things. You can't always play it safe. And in theory, the Warden seems to be doing some interesting new things. Like the fact that it's a boss that you aren't supposed to kill. That's interesting. That's new. I'm happy about that. But that's that's small potatoes. So before we actually get into the deep dark cities, let's talk about some of the other stuff. So there's mangrove swamps in the game. So a few years ago, or I think maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago, I feel like it was 2 years ago now. God, which seems so long ago. They announced that they were going to be redoing a bunch of biomes in Minecraft. And of course the community voted, and they voted on cliffs, like the mountain biomes. And that's why we have goats, that's why it's caves and cliffs, because, you know, they're redoing the caves. So that's cool. That's why Caves and Cliffs update is the way it is. And they said that, hey, after we do cliffs, we're gonna redo some of the other biomes. And we know desert and swamp, I think, were the other two. And now they're getting around to swamp. So, which is, I think, how these things should be done. Like, the mob vote's going on right now. Like, the mob vote happened. But, like, if you have all these ideas for mobs, just do them all. Just have the one people vote for be the one that comes in first. And that's, I feel like, a lesson they should have learned last year. After everything that, like, we talked last week about the the 3 mob votes and how, like, Dream backed off from it this year. But, like, people really liked all the mobs this year. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't care for the Glare, but a lot of people liked the Copper Golem. A lot of people liked the LA. They should have just added all 3 in the game, but said that the winner of the mob vote, the LA, spoiler alert, gets in first. That's how they should do it, like how they're doing with the biome update. But nope. So that's disappointing. But yeah, so we're getting the Mangrove Swamp, and we've got these new Mangrove Swamp trees, and I think they look really cool. They showed off some and they're also redoing the Birch Forest biome as well. They just showed off concept art for that one. But, like, conceptually, I think the Birch Forest looks great in the concept art. But the Mangrove Swamp looks good in the concept art. And I think visually, like, the new mangrove trees that grow out of water have a lot of potential. There's a new mud block that grows in the Mangrove Swamp that I think it needs some texture changes. Right now, it just looks like a gray block. It really doesn't look that impressive, but I think the actual new Mangrove Swamp biome, I feel like this is pretty cool. Like, I love the idea of sailing a boat through the swamp and, like, going underneath the mangrove trees. I think that could be really cool. The actual trees themselves, like, they have all these vines, and they grow out of water, like it's a new type of sapling. The actual mangrove wood itself, I think, kind of sucks. It looks like a combination of acacia and jungle wood. It's like a pinkish orange. It definitely looks more pink than it does orange, but there's hints of orange in there. Now, give us a new type of wood. Like, that was something that disappointed me with Caves and Cliffs, was there was that new tree, but it didn't have a new type of wood. It just used oak wood. Give us some new types of... Like, people love new types of wood. And that's something I loved about the Nether update, was they added blue and red wood into the game. Like, it's weird, but yeah, I kind of want shit like that in there. Give us some new colors of wood. I don't know, I don't know how you would do, like, a purple wood, for example, but there's got to be something else you can do other than just... Especially because people don't like acacia, and people don't like jungle. Admittedly, from what I can tell, people just don't dig with jungle, because, you know, jungle's kind of inconvenient, per se. Alright, let's mess around with the Sora stuff. We'll come back to the Spirit Born in a little bit. Yeah, jungle is just such a rare biome. Or at least in my experience, like, it's just such a rare biome that, like, nobody builds with it. And it's a pink wood. And then acacia is just that bright orange. Admittedly, oops, not Kazuya. Yeah, let's just do default Sora. Yeah, it's just such... I don't know. It's just not as interesting. So that sucks. So there was the mud blocks. There's also mud bricks. Because, you know, mud bricks are a thing that... there are tons of types of mud bricks. I think of course, Adobe. But, yeah, no, mud bricks, that's a good get. I think they're just called mud bricks because, you know, every civilization at some point uses mud bricks. So, like, picking an actual name is complicated. But, hey, they're adding mud bricks into the game. You know, the one thing I will say about Sora is, like, the Joy-Con, like, when they shake, like, you know, the HD Rumble, Sora feels different on HD Rumble for some reason. Like, it's hard to explain, but he, like, feels lighter. Oh, yeah, I don't have to shoot the spirits. Gosh, it still surprises me that Xehanort's not a spirit. Okay. And then I said no pottery, right? We know pottery's coming at some point. It's not going to be part of 1.18. It's not going to be 1.19. I'm still very skeptical on pottery. I do like block pixel artistry's thing on pottery. I think that, like, has some good ideas. Like, I love that book idea and whatnot. Not all of them are great, but I think there's some good ones in there. Oh, yeah. Hey, look. It's the darkness and a nobody. That's cute, because, yeah, Roxas is Sora's nobody. That's neat. I like that. That's cute. Kingdom Hearts 2 is weird. All Kingdom Hearts is weird. But at least one is, like, you know, like, I get it. It's the sequels that are just, oh gosh. Okay, there we go. Oh, I didn't realize that was a stamina. Also, in the mangrove swamp, they're adding fireflies. I really hope you can bottle fireflies. To, like, make, like, a bottle of fireflies that you can put in your base and it gives off a light source. That would be really cool. I want that in the game. Give me 1 second. I need, Oh, my throat's all clogged up. That makes sense. But yeah, fireflies, I want to be able to bottle them. I don't know, like, what that would look like, honestly. Like, how you maybe have, like, a jar in the game, which I know Pottery's going to have. But let us bottle fireflies. I don't know. Again, I don't know how you do it. And then they're adding frogs and tadpoles. And, okay, is it just me, or are the frog colors wrong? Like, I look at the frog colors, because there's 3 different frogs. A tropical one, a desert one, and a swamp one. And they look wrong. Like, I would think the desert one, it's a snow one, a swamp one, and I think a desert one. And they look wrong. Like, the desert one should be in the swamp. The snow one should be in the desert. And the desert one or in the swamp, right? They're wrong. Or the swamp one should be in the desert. The desert one should be in the swamp, and then the desert, whatever it is. I think the frogs are wrong, right? Like, maybe that's how frogs work in real life, like, but they just feel wrong for some reason. I don't know how to explain it other than that, but I feel like they should be switched. The tadpole thing is cool. Like, that makes sense why they're doing it. I'm glad it's there. It's weird, but I get it. But yeah, I know people are excited for frogs, because people, you know, that's one of the things people, like, felt like was robbed from us. That in the Moo Bloom. Which, again, I still don't give a shit about the Moo Bloom. It's a freaking... You know, I didn't know there were... I completely forgot there were brown mushrooms in the game. Like, you can only get them under, like, certain circumstances. But it was something I'd completely forgotten about was there. But yeah, there's brown mushrooms in Minecraft. Or at least in one, either Bedrock or Java. I don't know, they don't spawn naturally from what I remember. So, like, the circumstances to get the brown mushrooms are weird. But yeah, I completely forgot they existed. Let's see, what else? Boats and chests. So, I think chests and minecarts are still in the game. I remember when chests and furnaces were in the game. Or, yeah, or minecart furnaces. But yeah, now they're adding boats in minecart, or boats and chests, which would be convenient, especially more convenient than, like, God, llamas. Llamas fucking suck. Like, I want to like llamas, but they're just so inconvenient to do anything with. Because, you know, llamas are cute, but the only reason I've ever had a llama is to get the achievement. And then, okay, so that takes us to the Deep Dark City, which is our new thing. The Deep Dark City... So, we were, right, we knew we were getting, like, these new underground areas with the Skulk and the Warden and the Skulk blocks and everything. But we now have the update has grown more ambitious, which, again, it definitely shows. It shows that they have... Oh, yeah, I can't do anything with that. It shows that their ambition has grown, which is good. Alright, I love them, like, just running with ideas here. And so the idea of this Deep Dark City, it looks great. It's the city that's found below the world. In the center of it, there's like this mouth. At least in the concept art, it looks like a mouth. But I can't help remind me. It looks like a portal. Like, it's made out of, like, these weird, like... They don't talk about what these blocks are, but they look kind of like arrows. And I can't help but think it's some sort of, like, portal or something. I don't know. It's in the... You see it in all the concept art and everything. And, yeah, in some of it, it looks like a mouth. But it's really cool. And I'm interested to see if they do something with that. Because I feel like that has a lot of potential, but we'll see. But the Deep Dark Cities, I think, visually look really cool. The Skulk, we find out how the Skulk Catalyst works, where if you kill an enemy near it, it spreads the Skulk growth. And when you harvest the Skulk growth, you don't actually get the block, you get XP. Of course, you can Silk Touch it. Same thing with the Catalyst. That's a new thing that's not in the game at any point, so that's a cool new addition. It's kind of weird, but I'm down for it, I guess. I don't know. I definitely, like, I don't visual, because in a new Bedrock snapshot. Because, yeah, they make Bedrock snapshots, guess what? In the new Bedrock snapshot, they actually have the Skulk Catalyst and the Skulk Shrieker and all the new Skulk blocks. Now, they, of course, don't have the Warden or anything like that, but they have the new Skulk blocks, which, again, shows that, hey, these things are actually going to be here before we know it. It feels like it's long away now, but it's actually not. It's not as long as we think. Look at Hollow Bastion in the background. But yeah, so the Skulk Catalyst and how that works, that's a neat addition. The Skulk Shrieker, this is something brand new, because there was that Skulk Jaw that looked like it was gonna, like, potentially, like, trap the player or something. At least that was the speculation. Yeah, we know that King B-Dogs at some point tweeted out that their idea for the Skulk Jaw just wasn't working out, so they had decided to remove it from the game. That's fine when that happens. Right, sometimes ideas just don't work. Like, the example I think of is the rotating planets in No Man's Skies. Planets rotated, that was a promise they made, and they had it in the game, but it just didn't, like, it didn't feel right, and, like, it just confused players a lot, so they took it out. So yeah, stuff like that does happen. It's not, it's fine. Hey look, there's our boy, Ansem. But yeah, so the Skulk Shrieker is terrifying. It makes a terrifying sound, and it has this blackout effect. Which, okay, the blackout effect itself, I could see being very annoying. Like, depending on how depending on how it works, I could see it just being annoying. That's one of the things I do worry about. It looks cool. It adds to the horrifying atmosphere. But it's just one of those things where it's like, if this, like, sucks, or if it goes on for too long, yeah, no, I could see myself easily being annoyed by this. Oh, we both heard. And then we see the Warden, and I like how the Warden's not just wandering around in the city. Instead, it's buried away in the ground, and it only activates if you trigger the Skulk sensors enough. So it's the player's mistake to trigger the Skulk. It's not just something that's going to happen naturally. It's on the player to screw up and summon on accident. That's cool. Oh my god, we got our ass kicked. So yeah, the Skull, and like we kind of see the Warden like breaking out through the floor, but the animation clearly isn't done, so that's why they cut away from it so quickly. But I think the idea that, hey, you can wander around the city as long as you're stealthy, you'll never even run into the Warden. It's only when you like fuck up and trigger the Skulk sensors and the Skulk Shrieker that it becomes a problem. Of course, it can still, the Warden is 2-hit kill with full netherite armor, which I know people want to be able to kill this thing, and of course, there's an achievement for killing every mob in Minecraft, so I hope when, like, in the future, when like this comes out, that they don't add the Warden into that achievement, because if the way they're describing the Warden as a mob you're not meant to kill, if it's killable, or if you add it into that achievement, that kind of takes away the purpose of it. I mean, I'm sure people will figure out how to do it and how to cheap it out and whatnot, like how they do the dragon or the ender, or the iron golem specifically is what I'm thinking of, where you just build like the 3-block tower. However the hell they do the trap the wither and bedrock, I don't know, I've never done that before. Yeah, I guess they're saying for the moment... Oh, the Warden has 500 health, but they're thinking about adding even more. For context, the Ender Dragon has 200, and the Wither has 300. I do kind of want them to give it a boss bar, though, just in case. Like I know... And just to, like, show players, like, hey, you shouldn't try to kill this thing, because it will just murder you. But no, I think the Warden itself is cool, and yeah, it's just decimating the player. It has a lot of potential. Like, this could turn out great. Of course, we'll have to wait and see, obviously. But for the moment, I am excited for it. The update's still a while away, but hey, when it comes, it comes. And then lastly is the mob vote. So the mob that won the mob vote is the LA. Which, I predicted last week, I saw the LA winning. I wish they would add in the Copper Golem as well, and the Glare, because I think they're both kind of cool. But I said last week that I have no problem with whichever mob wins. The LA seems like a cool addition. I'm sure it'll all work out in the end. I do, like, there was this post going around about how, like, oh, the Copper Golem is useless, because you could literally just use a chicken standing on a pressure plate to do the same thing as the Copper Golem. But gosh dang it, I keep doing that. But the LA is literally just 2 hoppers. Like, you can just literally, or not 2 hoppers, but, like, you can just use hoppers or, like, a water stream in place of the LA. It's not that. The LA, right, all the mob, and that technically goes for all 3 mobs. Even though, again, I kind of get the Glare, because yes, you can use F3, but not everybody knows that. Which some people would be surprised that they don't, but nope. And you can't do that on Bedrock Edition either. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, admittedly, I was kind of underwhelmed by Minecraft Live. Like, there was some cool things. I think the Deep Dark looks good. It sucks that it's coming out a little later. But the actual thing, I'm sure it'll all turn out well. Caves and Cliffs is just a few weeks away, and I have faith that everything will turn out fine. So yeah, and then I was waiting on the Caves and Cliffs update to restart my multiplayer world, and yeah, it's gonna suck not having the Deep Dark in it, but hey, you know what? I'll probably still do it anyways. Oh my god, yeah, I just don't think I don't think Sora is the character for me. I'll be honest. Like, we're gonna keep trying this. But Sora is not my type of character. Like, because I suck at Bayonetta as well. And that's what Sora reminds me of, is Bayonetta. Like, it's cool that they're there, because I know Sakurai didn't... there was actually an interview, real quick, just to go off on this tangent, where Sakurai admitted that, like, originally the Fighter's Pass was only supposed to have 5 characters. It was going to end with Kazuya. But then at a Game Awards show, he doesn't specify which one, he ran into a Disney executive and was like, hey, people want Sora. Can we put Sora? And that's how the conversation to get Sora into Smash Bros. Started. Originally, yeah, the Fighter's Pass was only supposed to be another 5 characters. They were already chosen by that point. So yeah, Sora is just a bonus to this whole thing. And you know what? For people who like him, I'm happy. He's not even though I have played the first Kingdom Hearts. I've admitted that before. I've played the first Kingdom Hearts back on the PS2. I like the game, but I don't know. After the first one, I know people love 2, and I always wanted to. I never beat 2. I played it, just never beat it. But I want to like Kingdom Hearts, but it's just so fucking stupid, man. And I know that's why people love it. And to those people, you know what? I'm glad you love it. Okay, well, okay, I do draw some lines, but I mean, at least Kingdom Hearts fans actually play their game, unlike freaking Persona fans. There was a post that I saw today where it was so some guy asked, like, oh, you like this game? Have you ever played Persona? And they respond, yeah, I've 100%ed Persona. And then the guy still then just proceeded to explain Persona to the guy who'd 100%ed it. Because that's fucking Persona fans, am I right? Again, one day I will play Persona 5 as well. I was actually gonna play it, and then R got announced, and I was like, oh, but I was gonna just play the normal one, and now I gotta wait for R, and I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale. Fuck. Ah, god damn it. So yeah, I'm waiting for R to go on sale for cheap enough, and then I'm gonna play that one. Okay. Next up, DC Fandom, Fandom, whatever it's called, was earlier this. Gosh, that did nothing. Was Saturday as well. It was going on around the same time as Disney. There were a bunch of stories I didn't see. Like, I didn't actually watch Fandom. I just know it happened. And there are a few stories I do want to talk about. Specifically, we got a trailer for The Batman, the movie starring Robert Pattinson. It looks good, but I don't know. I saw someone describe The Batman, this new Batman movie, as like, in it, Batman looks like a nightmare. That like, oh, this is big, bad, scary Batman. I am so fucking... The past 20 years of Batman movies have all been big, bad, scary Batman. And big, bad, scary Batman isn't Batman. Big, bad, scary Batman is just the Punisher in a stupid hat. I want actual Batman. You know, the Batman that can comfort a crying child. But we don't get that anymore, or at least not with... I mean, I know the animated universe still gets us that. Harley Quinn's been pretty good at it. Good enough as, like, a parody of it. From what I've seen with Young Justice, there's that element there. And, God, I finished Young Justice season... I didn't even know season 4 was starting up. I had just finished season 3, or season 1, and then I was like, oh, shit, season 4 just started? What? So now so I'm even more... I thought the show had been... Because I know the show was canceled once before, but I thought it had been canceled again after season 3. But nope, there's a new season out, so that'll be interesting. So I need to watch. Because the farthest I've seen in the show, even back... Because I watched it back when it was airing, but I never got past, I think, like, the first few episodes of season 2. So I've never seen past that. I don't know if I'll be able to beat, Is it Roxas the last one? Who's the last spirit? Yeah, Roxas. Or... Is Ventus or is Roxas the nobody? Fuck, I don't remember. Fuck. Again, I've only played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't remember. Somebody's gonna yell at me about that. But yeah, so we got the Batman trailer, and I don't like big, scary Batman. I like the Batman that can comfort a small child. And this just doesn't look like it. This just looks dark. Like, and when I say dark, I mean, I literally can't fucking see this movie sometimes. Like, it's so dark, I literally can't tell what's going on. That's not... Like, I know we all... Like, one of the big complaints about Marvel movies is their color grading. And you know what? Fair. That's a fair complaint. I personally don't have as much problem with it as other people do. But I get it. I get why people hate the color grading in Marvel movies. But this is literally just... Like that was my problem with Twilight Princess when it came out. Is Twilight Princess was just too fucking dark. I literally... Not that the theme was dark, even though it kind of was. Not really. I mean, it was T for teen. As dark as you'll get for a Zelda game. But, like, I literally couldn't see what was going on. And that's my problem with this Batman. Is that I literally can't see what's going on. And I know the Twilight Princess remake fixed that. But still. But it looks fine. I don't know. I guess I'm curious to see the Riddler. The Penguin looks cool. It'll probably be fine. I'll probably really enjoy it. But I want... You know, the problem with, like, oh, well, all these Batman and Superman movies... But I still don't feel like we've gotten a Batman or Superman movie that's actually Batman in Superman. We just get movies with characters that have the names of Batman and Superman, but they're just missing something. Then, because like I know Superman smiles a little bit in Justice League, or at least one of the cuts. But that's what I want. Superman should smile. I don't need fucking dark Superman. I want a Superman who's a fucking hero. That's why I like the first Wonder Woman so much. Is because the Wonder Woman is a fucking hero in that movie. Above all else, it pulls that off in a way that... I'm just spamming side B, I realize that. But yeah, so yeah, I'll go watch it regardless. Next up we got Gotham Knights. I really need to play Arkham Asylum again. I played Arkham Asylum once. I've played, I don't know, like half of Arkham City. I never beat it. But I really need to play Arkham Asylum again. Especially with, like, me rewatching all the Batman stuff. Like, Arkham Asylum is good. Arkham City, I know people... I liked. I never played Arkham Origins. And I own Arkham Knight on, I think, PlayStation. But yeah, I do need... At some point, I'll do that. But yeah, I was thinking about that. But Arkham Knight looks good. I'm excited for Court of Owls. Because I've never actually... One of the stories that... Like I talked a few weeks ago when we were talking about Harley Quinn. About how, like, I remember hearing about the, Gotham... The Earthquake story that I'm blanking on the name of right now. I remember hearing about the Earthquake story and being like, oh, this is so cool. No Man's Land. I remember hearing about No Man's Land and being like, oh, this is such a great idea for a Batman story. Oh my god. Oh, I thought we had it there. But yeah, so that was cool to see in Harley Quinn, and this one's doing Court of Owls. Court of Owls is a story that I've heard, that I think is the story that kicks off the Batman New 52, or it's in the Batman New 52, but I've never actually read it, and it's one of the stories I've always wanted to read, Court of Owls, because I've heard good things about it, and I was always like, yeah, I'll get around to this eventually, and I just never have. But I've heard, at least I know people have all these problems with the New 52. But Court of Owls is something I've heard good things about. And one day I'll get to Court of Owls. Yeah, one day I'll get to Court of Owls. But this Arkham Knight looks Gotham Knights looks very promising. I like the idea of playing as some of the characters other than Batman. The actual Court of Owls stuff looks interesting. They're bringing the Penguin into it, which is neat. Again, I'm totally down for this. And then there's the other game is Justice League Kills the Suicide Squad, which is just a fun trailer. Penguin's also in that one as well. But yeah, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League is just a fun trailer. Like I do have my worries about it because it looks to be one of those team-based hero shooter games, a la Back 4 Blood or any of these other like 4-player co-op shooter games. That I'm kind of like, you know, it's funny. I complain about that new Guardians of the Galaxy just like not being that. Admittedly, my problem with the Guardians of the Galaxy is you only play as Star-Lord. Like, you have all these other characters, have fun with it. But nope, only Star-Lord in that new Guardians game. This one, I think, will have the opposite problem. Of you have all these characters, but it's going to be like this multiplayer thing. I don't know. It could be great. I think this is Rocksteady. It could be great. I don't know. I have. God damn it. Right now, like, we got a little bit more in-engine stuff, and there seems to be some, again, the idea of, like, fighting the Justice League That seems fun, especially because they're being controlled by Brainiac. I feel like this Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League has potential to be good. But I also just worry about it. Are they going to put in the microtransactions? Are they going to put in the loot boxes? Because it seems prime to do something like that. Because all these fucking games do something like that. So that has me horrified. But who knows? It could be great. It could totally be great. But yeah, DC, there was a bunch of other stuff announced in DC Fandom. Like, they're doing a Peacemaker show, which comes out rather soon, I think. Like, I think it comes out, like, January of next year, which is right around the corner. So that's not far away at all. And then there were a few other things. A bunch of it I'm forgetting right now. I think we got some some photos for like Aquaman 2 or some sort of announcement. Something for, I think we saw the Rock as Black Adam. So we did get some other things, but those are the three I wanted to talk about. Let me pause real quick. Next up, we got so there's a few delays. So we got all these trailers and whatnot. There were also some delays, specifically Elden Ring, which I'm going chronologically by the date they were delayed. So yeah, some of them we'll do now, some of them we'll do a little later. But yeah, Elden Ring got delayed just a month, so from January to February. That's not a big delay, but it's significant enough. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. I mean, we got close that one time, but I am terrible with Sora. Admittedly, I just keep spamming side B, so like. Yep, I screwed that up. I'm gonna need to beat this. I'm going to need to get that in. But it also does so little damage as well. But yeah, so Elden Ring got delayed from January to February. February is already a jam-packed month, because I think that's when Horizon comes out. There's a bunch of other shit as well that comes out in February that I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now. But February is already a jam-packed month. Elden Ring was coming out in January, and I think the only other competition in January was Pokemon. So, which, again, we'll talk about in a minute. But that kind of sucks that Elden Ring got delayed. But it's only a month, and it's not really going to matter. I think, along with the delay, they announced they're doing a, not a beta test. Oh, what's that called? An online, like, hey, how does the online work in this game? Like, they're testing out the servers and whatnot. So that's good. I don't know. I know people are super excited for Elden Ring. I might actually. I don't know. I've never played Dark Souls. It's always been one of those games that I said I would play. Just out of curiosity, because I know people love them. And while I'm not a hard game, like, I don't really play hard games, I've always been curious about it, to say the least. So I'm also curious about Elden Ring, because it looks beautiful, and I don't know, it could be the one that I don't know. I've always told the From Software game that would get me into From Software was Bloodborne, which I do own. I think I bought it a while ago. But yeah. I don't know. So yeah, Elden Ring got delayed. It happens. I don't know. I'm so tired. There was a delay announced today, and of course people pulled out the Shigeru Miyamoto quote, and I am just so tired of that freaking quote. Yes, it's true, but do we have to say it every time a game gets delayed? Like, for Christ's sake, just lay off that quote. The one about like a good bad game will always be bad, but delayed game can be good. Like, yeah, it's true. But, like, can we just stop saying it for, like, 10 fucking seconds? God damn it. Next up, God of War. So the 2018 God of War is announced to be coming to PC in January. I have no problem with this. I know PlayStation fans love their exclusives, but Sony has been putting out... I know people really want Bloodborne on... Oh, gosh, dang it. People really want Bloodborne on PS... or on PC, and I get it. But yeah, because... and I think the idea of, like, hey, we're going to release this game now, and then in a few months, we're going to put it on PC, or in a few years... we're gonna put it on PC. I think that's not a terrible strategy at all. Like the idea of like, oh yeah, you know what? It's console exclusive for a few years. I know Xbox has been toying around with that idea of, as well as like, oh well, this will be console exclusive on Xbox for a while, but we'll bring it to other platforms eventually. I know that's been a thing for a while now, but Sony experimenting with it. It's weird that Sony is doing it because I would think Sony would take the Nintendo approach, where like, no, this never leaves our console. But no, they are doing it, and you know what? For those who are playing it on PC, good. For those who are playing it on PlayStation first, good. Both approaches are valid. It's just don't be an asshole about it. That's all I say. There's nothing wrong with either approach. Just don't be an asshole. It's not hard, but but people are assholes, so it kind of is. Next, okay, let's finish this fight first, and we'll talk about, because I got some images to show for this one. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I would be fine with Bloodborne on PC. I don't know. I bought Bloodborne. Bloodborne is one of those games that I bought knowing I might never play it, but I want to. Which, admittedly, I think I bought it for like $10. So yeah, that makes sense. Because I buy a lot of games for $10. I actually bought a game for $10 recently, which I don't actually have as a story on here. So let's talk about it now. Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk went on sale for $5 the other week. And I was like, ooh. Ooh, that's interesting. $5 for Cyberpunk. And I know and I have a PS5. So while it's not as good as like the PC version, I have PS5. It probably runs okay on PS5. And so I was like, you know what? I'll try it. I'll get Cyberpunk. Plus, I know they're doing a next-gen PS5 version. Hey, Aquasine, how you doing? So yeah, I picked up... I haven't installed it, obviously. But I just picked it up. It was $5. And I was like, you know what? Because, if they eventually do get some updates out on it, and the game starts working better, then it's obviously going to go up in price. So I wanted to be prepared for that, just in case it ever does go up in price. Because that's what happened with No Man's Sky. Like, it started going up in price once it started getting good. Gosh dang it. Oh, I'm not going to make this. But yeah, so I picked up Cyberpunk, but they announced that the PS5 upgrade for Cyberpunk 2077 has been delayed until next year? I think it's Q1 next year. Maybe it's Q2. And then the Witcher 3 upgrade for PS5 has also been delayed until, I think, either, again, Q1 or Q2 next year. But yeah, both those games are getting updates on PlayStation. We kind of knew that already. But those are when those got delayed again this week, because there were a bunch of delays this week. God damn, I shielded there and it just wasn't fast enough. God, I cannot. I'm not good with Sora, but but even like faking it, I can't beat this. God, it's fucking Max Brass all over. Max Brass all over again, where I just couldn't beat. Same thing with the Ender Dragon. I mean, I eventually did, but it took me fucking ever. Okay, so I want to pull up Twitter real quick. Give me a second. Because, a few days ago, we got a new, so a few days ago, we got this thing, there was like this video that dropped on the Pokemon website that was like, hey, what's this new Pokemon? Right? It was hinting at some sort of like new Pokemon. And it was like, they described it as looking kind of like a Growlithe, or kind of like a Vulpix, like an Alolan Vulpix or something. It looked kind of like those. But we didn't actually know what it was. But that was like, oh, that was the images we saw. So I was like, oh, okay. So what does this thing actually look like? It's this new Pokemon. And I saw, and then I was scrolling on, and people were speculating on it, because the whole point, it was like, remember when they did that Ponyta 24-hour stream to reveal that? Well, yeah, so it's kind of like that, but this took like a day. This was like a 2-minute trailer with some voice acting. So we got that, and then I was seeing people speculate about what it was going to be, and I saw this. So this is Rhyme with Ray on Twitter. And maybe Hisui Zorua is the new Pokemon in the trailer. Cute, fluffy neck tail, could be mistaken for Vulpix/Growlithe. And this was their design. This is a fucking great design. I love this. So there's a Japanese fox mask that I think it's based on something. But I personally think of the fox mask. And that's what this design is based on. And I know, like, the dog from Okami is also based on it as well. But, like, that was their inspiration for the design. And I was like, oh my god, this is an amazing design. No matter what the Pokemon Company does, it's going to be disappointing compared to this. And we'll get to what they actually did in a second. But they also did a... Okay, give me a second, because I don't want to accidentally show anything I can't on Twitch. So the same person also did a Zorua, which is also, again, I think it's based on Shrine Guardians and whatnot, like, because that's what that is. And they did a Zorua as well, or Zoroark, I mean. Also, both of these designs were so good. And it was like, okay, what's this Pokemon actually going to be? And then, a few days later, I think like the next day or something, they revealed this is what it was. This is the Hisuian Zorua and Zoroark. I think the other design, because it's a very similar design, right? Like, the two designs are kind of similar, but they're also kind of different, right? Like, this one has like a white hair, whereas this one did like a red hair. But they're still... Yeah, and you can see the other one over here. They're similar-ish, but they're also different. I like these designs better because I like the mythology they draw upon. Like, again, the Fox Mask and the Shrine Guardian stuff. Whereas this is, like, a little bit more spectral. And this was later confirmed that these are ghost types. They're normal ghost type, which is a typing that has never existed in a Pokemon game before. But yeah. So these are the new Pokemon for Legends Arceus. And even though I think these two designs are better personally, this is still really good. I still really like this design. I think that the actual design itself is a very fun, solid design. Let's just keep going. Oh, we have giant... Maybe I should change up... I always use Soma Cruz just because it's so strong. I think it is the strongest spirit in the game. But yeah. But I should say Zoroark and Zorua are one of my favorite Pokemon. I don't really have a favorite Pokemon anymore. I have favorite Pokemon. Like, I don't have a singular, but I have plural. But Zorua and Zoroark, like, out of all, like, the furry bait Pokemon, you know, like Lucario and... I like Lopunny. I like the Mega, honestly. I had good success with the Mega in Gen 3. But, yeah, I really like Zoroark. Not for the furry reason, just because I think it's a cool design. Loved the movie. It was dumb, but it was fun. And I hate how they implemented Zorua and Zoroark in Gen 5. Where you have to do the mystery event to get them. That was bullshit. And that still annoys me to this day. But, because, like, whenever I play through Gen 5, which I think I've only done once since then, twice, actually, because I've technically restarted the game earlier this year. But in the time I've replayed Gen 5, it really sucks not to be able to use Zorua and Zoroark. I think they fixed that in Black and White 2. Like, and I know all future games have made Zorua and Zoroark pretty easy to get. Even though, I mean, I know they were in the Isle of Armor in Pokemon Sword and Shield. But Zorua and Zoroark are a really cool Pokemon. That's a Pokemon I want a shiny of. Just to, like, have it. But yeah, I think Zorua and Zoroark are really cool Pokemon. I love their gimmick. I'm curious to see if this new one's going to have a similar gimmick. Or if they're going to go with something a little different. Because, you know, it's now a ghost type. And maybe that'll be something cool. Oh, God. But I hope that, hey, this results in something awesome. Because I think they're, the Zorua and the Zoroark are neat designs. Definitely picking, this is, I don't know, I don't really have a team plan for Legends Arceus. I do kind of have one for the Diamond and Pearl remake, admittedly. I have the start of one anyways. But I have nothing. I'm going to roll with the flow on Legends Arceus. But if I had to pick up something... Okay, I do admittedly know which starter I'm going with, Cyndaquil. But other than that, no, I'm kind of open to whatever. And so far, I am thoroughly impressed. Like the Scyther evolution, whose name I don't remember right now, Cleavor, or whatever it was, also a really good design. So I've been so impressed with all the Hisuian designs, especially because like they like Basculin with Basculegion fixed that Pokemon. The Weirdeer fixed Herdier, because like that was. Because, like, that's something that still annoys me about Sword and Shield, is, like, yeah, sure, some of the Runerigus was cool, Mr. Rhyme is just stupid, but the one that annoys me is, Stunfisk, because Stunfisk sucks as a Pokemon. And then they had the idea to make it a bear trap, which I think is an amazing idea, but Stunfisk itself... The like its moveset and everything, still garbage. Like, they fixed the design problem with Stunfisk, but they didn't fix the combat. Oh, okay, that's my fastest stuff yet. They didn't fix the combat problem with Stunfisk. But yeah, that's just me being a complainer. I think the Zoroark and Zoroark designs look great, and I'm super excited to see wherever. I'm excited for Legends Arceus, which I should say. So last week, the developers of Legends Arceus came out. Or I think it was like the game, like the lead designer, and was like, no, Legends Arceus is not actually a open world game. I know people want an open world Pokemon game. Legends Arceus is not the open world Pokemon game everybody wants. Legends Arceus is, I think they said Legends Arceus is more of a game like Monster Hunter, where it's got elements of open world in it, but it's not actually open world. Which I know some people are probably disappointed by. Personally, I have no problem with that, because I've heard that Monster Hunter Stories 2 is basically just a Pokemon game. And, like, it's a really good one at that. So, yeah, the idea of Pokemon doing, like, a Monster Hunter game with some Pokemon elements is cool. Again, I still kind of wish they had done, like, an active time combat thing. But, you know, there's always the next one. But I'm still, even with that, it not being like a full open world game, I'm still, in theory, really excited for Legends Arceus. It has the potential to be great. We'll see when it comes out in January. So far, it hasn't been delayed, but there's nothing that says it can't be delayed. We're still a few weeks out. It could totally be delayed. But yeah, I have no problem with it. And then... You know, so I talked about how I picked up Cyberpunk because it was on sale for like $5. I picked up Monster Hunter Rise as well. Monster Hunter Rise went on sale for I think like 20 bucks. This was a few weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'll ever actually play Monster Hunter Rise, but in theory, I want to. So I'm just gonna pick it up now And maybe one day I'll actually play it. Plus, like, when is it ever going to go, like, this cheap again? And so I picked up Monster Hunter Rise. Haven't played it, but yeah, I do have that. So maybe at some point in the future I'll play Monster Hunter Rise. Oh, I thought I countered right there. Does it heal? Is that why I'm getting my ass kicked so much in this fight? Because it heals every once in a while? Oh my god. But yeah, next up, so we found out, so that Uncharted movie that, they wanted to make forever now, well, that was finally happening, and we finally got but they were finally doing that Uncharted movie that people had wanted, but not with the actor people had wanted, instead with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg as the right Nathan Drake and Sully, which is just weird casting, because Tom Holland, like, yeah, I think he's as old as me, but he looks like a fucking child still. And I think that works great for Spider-Man. He plays a young Spider-Man really well. But I think as Nathan Drake, nah, he looks too young. No, fuck, no! That was the best run we had so far. That was close. But yeah, as Nathan Drake, nah, I don't really buy Tom Holland as it. And I don't think Mark Wahlberg is good casting as well. But I saw that we got a trailer for the new Uncharted movie. And so I've never actually played an Uncharted game, I should say that right off the bat. But this movie seems to just be, I know about some of the sequences and like some of the events of the games. And this movie just seems to be an Uncharted greatest hits. Oh, God, if we could have gotten them out first. But yeah, so this movie, just like, they're doing the plane sequence from, I think, the third game, if I remember correctly. I'm assuming at some point the train scene will happen. But the burning ship from the end of 4, I think. But yeah, this instead of just doing the story of the first Uncharted game, instead they're doing all the Uncharted games and what it looks like one movie. Which, admittedly, I think is kind of ill-advised. I would say stick to the one that works instead of all trying to smash all of them together. But what do I know? I'm not a Hollywood executive person, because I know what I'm doing. Funny. But no, I think the trailer itself looks fine. I don't know. I'm getting so... I watched... I actually didn't even just watch it. I just watched Kinda Funny react to it. Because I wasn't, like, too invested in actually watching it. But I'm so fucking tired of Kinda Funny. Like, unless a movie is, like, Marvel, they just write off everything. Like, they want every movie to be fucking Shakespeare. And when something isn't Shakespeare, they just shit on it. And now, I am not saying Marvel is as good as Shakespeare. Not even fucking close. What I am saying, though, is that, yeah, I'm kind of getting annoyed with specifically Tim Geddes, who is the most vocal about these things. But yeah, not every movie needs to be the perfect fucking movie. If we only had good movies, then how would we know what a bad movie is? We'd have no appreciation for what's bad in the world. But because, like, that's Godzilla vs. Kong. Is it not a great movie? I mean, it's a good movie, but is it, like, the best thing ever? No, but it's fucking fun. It gave me cool monster fights, and Mechagodzilla was awesome in it. That's all I wanted. I don't need every movie to be the fucking MCU. I don't know, I guess I just need to kind of stop watching Kinda Funny, at least for a little bit. Because I feel like I'm ranting about them all the time. They keep getting on my nerves. Yeah, I knew I couldn't avoid that. But yeah, so yeah, the Uncharted movie looks fine. I see everything, so, like, I'm gonna go see it, definitely. I don't know. Again, video game movies have been getting better recently. Pokemon was good. Sonic was fine. There was that other thing that I thought was fine as well. I don't remember what it was, but I thought it was fine. Oh, cool. But yeah, next up, the Haunted Chocolatier. So Stardew Valley, one of the greatest games of recent years. So fun, so much, right? It's Stardew Valley is just Harvest Moon, but it's somehow way better than Harvest Moon. And we know the studio that published Stardew Valley, Clever Endeavor, is making I think it's called Witchbrook, which is kind of like their Stardew Valley, but the actual studio behind the creator behind Stardew Valley, Concerned Ape, was working on a new game. And so we got the reveal trailer for their new game called The Haunted Chocolatier, which is, I think, supposed to be... Oh, we actually won. Cool. God, that took forever. I definitely got better with Sora as time goes on. As time went on there. But yeah, so The Haunted Chocolatier, whereas Stardew Valley was Harvest Moon, The Haunted Chocolatier is Recettear. Right, the classic, I think it's a mid-2000s RPG shops owning simulator, Recettear. That's clearly what The Haunted Chocolatier is supposed to be. Oh, hey, look, it's Ridley. Spoiler alert. I think this looks great. I like me some Recettear. I'm totally down for this Haunted Chocolatier. There's ghosts. It's not like a horror game or anything. I saw the developer, I think, said that whereas Stardew Valley is the sun, the Haunted Chocolatier is the moon, which I think is a pretty good description, because that's definitely the energy I'm getting. It reminds me of Stardew Valley. What spirits are these? What? I haven't... What? Oh, these are all the Sortas. The Sortas. Okay. I was like, why am I missing so many spirits? It's the Sortas. Okay. Okay, we can do this. I can get those. For a second there, I was like, oh shit. Am I missing like a bunch of spirits? Oh look, we can get the Ender Dragon again. They'll show up in this shop eventually. But let's go do the classic mode for Sora. But yeah, I think this looks great. No release date or anything. Just like, hey, this is a thing that's coming out eventually. So it happens when it happens. I'm totally down for more. Let's just start here. I don't really care. I'm totally down for more. Light clears the darkness. Ah, cute. I'm down for more Stardew Valley. I'm down for another Recettear, because again, because I think Recettear is the mid-2000s, if I remember correctly. It definitely doesn't feel like it was that long ago anyways. But yeah, whatever it is, I'm down for it. Hopefully it's great. I mean, it's Concerned Ape. Stardew Valley is amazing. I have no reason to doubt this new one. So yeah, that comes out whenever, but I'm just excited. I'm excited. Of course, Concerned Ape's Witchbrook, or not Concerned, Clever Endeavor. I think it's Clever Endeavor. Witchbrook. Also, I know that game restarted development at some point. But, you know, that could also be good. The idea of, like, Witch Stardew Valley isn't terrible either. But yeah, it happens when it happens, and hey, it's just more games are cool, man. Next up, so we've been talking constantly about the GTA Trilogy. There's been all these rumors about the GTA Trilogy. Oh, when is the GTA Trilogy coming? Because it got rumored, then it was announced, and then it finally got revealed today. So they officially revealed the GTA Trilogy, and overall, it looks good. There's definitely some good visual improvements. As I've said, I've actually only ever played Vice City, of the original, right, of GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. But Vice City was my favorite game on PS2, or at least one of them, anyways. I don't know, like top 3. I loved me some Vice City back in the day. Love the soundtrack, and that's gonna be. We don't know. I don't think we know anything about like the soundtracks. They better all be there. It's even just missing like a song or two. I mean, I guess they can get away with a song or two, but if they're missing like massive amounts of the soundtrack, that's gonna be a real fucking problem. But visually, it's a nice visual upgrade. There's still some like low polygon elements to it because these are still just PS2 games remastered. Yeah, I think they were all PS2 games. But I'm excited for all of these. They're all coming to Switch, which is cool. But interestingly enough, the remake of GTA San Andreas is coming to Xbox Game Pass. And just the remake of GTA 3 is coming to PlayStation Now. And just the remake of Vice City is coming to the Nintendo Switch expansion pack. That is so weird. What kind of deal did Rockstar have to work out to get that running? Okay, the third one of those was a joke. The GTA coming to the Nintendo Switch expansion pack, that was a lie. But would it really have surprised you, especially because they're breaking up the collection between PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass? Yeah. Will I pick up this collection? I don't know, maybe. Again, my first thought is, oh, it's on Switch. I can just play it on Switch. Then I remember, oh wait, I have a PS5. I can play games on this thing now. God, I'm so used to just having a Nintendo console that the idea of having a non-Nintendo console is still just kind of weird for me. Especially because there is a certain luxury to having everything on the Switch. I'm pretty sure the versions we see in the trailers of these remakes, knowing how the game industries works, these versions of the remake are definitely from the PC version, because that's the one that looks the best. So we'll see. We'll probably find out closer to release date what it actually looks like. But we just got the trailer today. I think it comes out. Is it end of November? I'm gonna look this up right now, but I think it's middle or end of November. I'm pulling up Twitter right now to check. Let's see, Nibellion. There it is, Nibellion. Come on, I'm waiting for it to load. But yeah, it's sometime in November, so it's not too far away. A state of I don't have it written down anyways, but a state of play is next week, October 27th. Yeah, we'll talk about that next. When is it? What time is it? I don't honestly know. If it's in a time that I can work with it, we'll stream it. But if it's not, Wednesday, October 27th at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I might stream that, depending on because I think I'm out of class by then. So we just might barely stream it. I don't know. If we don't, it doesn't happen. But if it does, it does. That's another announcement. Oh, and GTA 3 on PS Now is December 7th. Whereas the San Andreas is day 1 on Game Pass. 11/11. Okay. Oh, and it's also coming to Switch on December. Wait, what? So, so this is from Nintendo of Europe. Grand Theft Auto, the Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Definitive Edition is coming to eShop on 11/11, so November 11th, and a physical version will be the 7th of December. Okay. So yeah, it's December 11th for digital and December 6th for disc. Okay, so that's simple enough. But yeah, so that's a few weeks away. That's nothing at all. Of course, by that point, we'll be doing Animal Crossing. God, a game like that must be a nightmare to stream because of the way. I honestly don't like companies using licensed music. literally must make games impossible to stream nowadays. Like, that's that new Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, you need, like, streaming modes, or else how do you even do stuff like that? I know you can just turn off the radios in GTA, or like I did with Fallout, where I just turned off all the music. But I do definitely feel like I'm missing part of the Fallout experience. Okay. Next up, so another delay. Nintendo announced today that Advanced Wars is getting delayed. So this is from Nintendo of America. Hello troops, Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, which was set to launch December 12th, or December 3rd, I mean. Oops. Will release for Nintendo Switch in spring 2022. The game needs a little more time for fine-tuning. You'll be battling with Andy and friends too. Thank you for your patience. Again, the first comment is the Miyamoto quote. Is that one about how a delayed game is good, but a rushed game is bad forever, or whatever. Again, I'm sick of it. Ooh, look at that. Hey, look, we're fighting Sora's darkness. It's Kingdom Hearts. Darkness, light, dark, light, heart, darkness, heart, light, darkness, heart. Bees. That's such a fucking funny video. The bee, Sora. It is I, Foy Goof. I can't do it. I can't do a Goofy and Donald. I'm not even gonna try. I think it's just Metal Sora, but still, I can tell what they're going for. But yeah, so Advanced Wars got delayed. It is weird, because, like, I saw some people saying that, like, oh, is the game getting delayed so that way it won't be, like, so that way more people will, in theory, buy it? I don't think that's the case, because I think if they wanted people to buy it, the best chance is going to be to get it out in December. Because, again, January and February are so packed with games. There's like 30 games coming out in February. And I know January lost Elden Ring, but there's still a lot of other games coming out in January. Ooh, Sora's floatiness is weird on this. But yeah, I don't think this is Nintendo like, oh, well, if we put the game out later, maybe it'll do better. Because I really do think that they want it. Because I think no matter what, this game isn't going to sell, like, amazingly well. Just being honest for a second. Yeah, this game isn't going to do amazing, this Advanced Wars reboot. But the hope is that it can do fine. So far, almost every series that has come to Switch has found success on Switch. Right, so, like, Metroid Dread is the best-selling Metroid game so far. So yeah, any series that comes to Switch, or, you know, it's one of the best-selling Metroid games. But yeah, any series that comes to Switch does well on Switch. So hopefully Advanced Wars would sell well. But it's definitely not going to sell, like, over, like, 1 million units. It may not even sell 1 million units. Oh, we're fighting Michael Mouse. See, Michael Mouse's hands and gloves have come back to take back Sora. Yes, I stole that joke from Twitter. Fucking deal with it. Michael Mouse? But yeah, I don't know. Part of me is curious about Advanced Wars, but I also didn't love, like, I played Wargroove. Wargroove was fine, but they're just not my, like I say with Fire Emblem, they're just not my style of game. Plain and simple. I just don't care for strategy games. I want to like strategy games like Advanced Wars and Wargroove and Fire Emblem. I just don't. But in theory, I should. I should love games like Advanced Wars and whatever. But I just hate the repetitive nature of them. So, like, what else are you gonna do? God, how have I not crazy hand down yet? There we go. There we go. But yeah, so, yeah, it getting delayed, it kind of sucks. I mean, so I think Wario64 pointed out that technically they're still available on the Wii U eShop. Still weird they never came to 3DS, but whatever. So, I guess with all that, that takes us into WIBE. I guess, so I've tried out, so I forgot, I've been meaning to talk about this forever now. Let's talk about some food stuffs first. I tried out, so Burger King did a ghost pepper nugget. And I saw that and I was like, huh, curious. I don't like Burger King's nuggets. Like McDonald's nuggets are battered. I don't remember what Wendy's nuggets taste like, but McDonald's nuggets are battered. But Burger King's nuggets are more of like they're breaded, I guess is the better way to put them. I have learned over the years that like fried food, like a nugget, or, basically any Chinese food, is better than what's it called? Batter is better than breading. That's something I have learned the hard way, but I've come to realize as the truth. Battering just works so much better. It tastes better. That means it's probably less healthy for you, but it just tastes so much better. But yeah, so I just don't like Burger King's nuggets. But the ghost pepper, I mean, I guess they were a little spicier, but not by too much. Honestly, the Burger King ghost pepper nuggets didn't really impress me. Yeah, talking like, yeah, I'm not going to face jam score them, but yeah, they didn't really impress me at all. The other thing I tried was Mountain Dew does their voodoo. Their, special, you know how, they have, mystery flavors for some reason, Dum Dums are the first thing I think of, but the other mystery flavor I always think of is, Airheads. Airheads usually has, a mystery flavor. But yeah, Mountain Dew does a mystery flavor Mountain Dew every year around Halloween called Voodoo. And so in previous years, it was candy corn, caramel apple, and this year's tastes like, I think it was candy corn and caramel apple the past 2 years. But this year's Voodoo, so Voodoo 3, tastes like Kool-Aid. It legitimately just tastes like carbonated Kool-Aid. Like the red Kool-Aid. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't know. I saw it on store shelves, bought a pack, and then it was good enough that I would have bought another one, but when I went to buy another one, they were all gone, so yeah, my fucking luck. But yeah, no, I thought Voodoo 3 was fine. I definitely wasn't as impressed with it, but it was fine. Yeah, definitely not as impressed as that Baja Punch, which was also which was a fruit punch flavor, but that one was really good. But yeah, Voodoo 3 was fine. I've been meaning to talk. I got that a week or two ago, and I've been meaning to talk about it, and I just never did. I kept forgetting. But the actual story tonight. Let's see Sora's image. Ha ha, Destiny Isles. That's I have beaten Smash Classic mode with every character. Still missing a few spirits. Oh, and hey, there's Sora. Okay, good. Now we should start getting the Sortas in the shop, which I'm going to keep my eye out for. We're just doing spirits. I'm missing 3 spirits. So, and those last 3 spirits should show up in the shop. Or show up in the spirit board. So that's the rest of the night. Oh, see, there's one. There's one of the Sortas. Have I been calling it River of Time? Whatever, either way. Timeless River. Maybe we'll mess around with online. I don't know. Tonight I was hoping to be a shorter stream, and it so far has been. Because we definitely could have gone on longer. But the next thing we got to talk about... Yeah, let's wait for the spirits. Is Metroid Dread. I started playing Metroid Dread last week. It came out, 2 weeks ago? Well, I finally beat it this week. Yep, I finally beat Metroid Dread this week. And not only did I beat it, but I 100%ed it. I did everything. I was able to do 95% of it just on my own by wandering around and, noticing things and coming back to them later. There were about 4 things I had to look up because I knew there were 2 that I knew where they were, but I didn't know how to get them. And then there were 2 or 3 that I didn't know, and so I had to figure out where to get them. There were because there's a map, but there are some areas that are off the map, and I just didn't know. But I 100% in Metroid Dread. I don't want to go into spoilers. I really don't. We talked about it a little bit last week, and I was enjoying the game. The game is really good. I thought the bosses were a little, they were definitely some big difficulty spikes. I felt like as the game went on, that got a little better. It definitely balanced out a little bit more. But I'll say the game is really good. Is it on my Game of the Year? It's definitely a contender. It is for sure a contender for Game of the Year. I don't know. There's still one game I really need to play before the year ends, before I'm I definitively say that. So I'm not going to say anything definitive yet. But I enjoyed, as a Metroidvania goes, it's one of the best. With Metroidvania, I have never played Symphony of the Night. I was going to back in 2019, and I just never got around to it, so I've never played Symphony of the Night. But I've played Metroid, I've played Metroid 2 Return to Samus, not the 3DS remake. I actually want to go back to the 3DS remake. Because one of the things I didn't like about the 3DS remake was, the physical combat stuff, or, the counter. But after playing Metroid Dread on, a controller, I'm no, the counter actually really works. So I'm sure Metroid Samus Returns works really well. I just need to play it again and give it more of a chance. But yeah, and then I played Super Metroid, and I played Fusion, and now I played this one. Never played any of the Prime games, but yeah. Of the Metroid games, I'd say this is either the best or second best. Super Metroid is either the best or the second best. I'd say they're very similar. They're very different games, but they're similar enough in quality, because Super Metroid is maybe the best Metroidvania. A Castlevania Symphony of the Night will never live up to, in my opinion, what Super Metroid does. I know people really like Symphony of the Night, and I'll play it one day, but I just don't think it lives up to what Super Metroid does. Super Metroid is so good, and it's got its stupid Metroid moments, whereas with Metroid moments where you reach a dead end, you've been given a new ability, and you just don't know where to go, so now you have to backtrack through the entire game. Metroid Dread only has one of those. At least in my experience. There was only one. There is backtracking, of course, which I defend backtracking. I always have. I don't get why people bitch so much about it. I think backtracking is a good thing. Especially in a Metroidvania. That's one of the hallmarks of the genre. But yeah, Super Metroid has a lot of those moments where you reach the dead end, you get the grapple beam, and it's where the fuck do I go? You get the super bomb, and it's where the fuck do I go? And then you realize that, oh, you can blow up this tube thing that the game never tells you can really do. Metroid Dread has one of those. Super Metroid is full of them. But I also, there are some elements of Super Metroid, I feel Metroid Dread is a little bit more linear than Super Metroid. I definitely feel when you get a new ability, it's definitely steering you in a certain direction. With one or two exceptions, you can go back to any area, but for the most part, the game's steering you in certain directions. It doesn't want you to get lost, whereas Super Metroid is fine letting you get lost. But so Metroid Dread and Super Metroid are two of the best Metroidvanias of all time. Definitely, easily. But I still think Hollow Knight's better. I don't want to bring price point into this. I've seen people bitching out Metroid Dread's price point. I have no problem. I got my $60 out of it personally, and I will replay it again. So yeah, I definitely feel like I got my monies out of it. But Hollow Knight is still $15 for it took me in the in-game timer at 100% this game. It took me almost 11 hours. Hollow Knight took me over 30, and I didn't even 100% it. That was just to beat the game. So Hollow Knight's just too good. Like, it really, like, it sells itself for nothing. For just, like, the most amount of game. And Hollow Knight has the exact same replayability as Super Metroid and Metroid Dread. It's too good. And I said that at the time when I played Super Metroid back in 2019. And I'll say it again. Yep. It's just, Hollow Knight just does it too well. But that doesn't mean I like Metroid Dread any less. It's totally gonna be on my Game of the Year list. It might even be my Game of the Year. It's really fucking good. I enjoyed it. Hopefully we get more Metroid games. Or specifically in this style, because I know things are changing. But yeah, I am impressed with Metroid Dread. And it is the best-selling Metroid game, maybe ever. Definitely, this is definitely selling super well on the Switch. And again, a Kotaku article isn't going to convince 100,000 people to pirate the game. That's not how these things work. Not at all. But I enjoyed Metroid Dread. I don't want to get into spoilers. I really don't. There are a lot of good things in this game. There's a lot of progress. There's one moment that I'm still just like, oh, okay. Oh, fucking K. But I'm not going to say anything more than that. I'm just going to say I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend it. It's really good. That Metroid Dread is really good. If you have a Switch, go play it. Also, if you get the normal Nintendo Switch Online subscription, you get the first two. Do not recommend playing the first Metroid game. It ain't worth it. But Super Metroid totally is. Maybe one day they'll re-release Fusion. They really should. And I'm not talking remake of Fusion. But yeah, I'm totally down for more Metroid games. Like, really, I definitely... I don't know. There's that whole controversy with Mercury Steam, the studio that made Metroid Dread, about how they, like, didn't credit a lot of people on the development. Like, they said that, oh, it's company policy that if you don't work on at least 25% of the game, then you don't get credited in the game. Fuck that. Even if you just added a single pixel to the game, you deserve to be credited. And I saw someone saying, like, oh, well, you say everyone should get credited. Does that mean you want, like, the guy who brought in coffee to be credited? Yes. I do not care if it was just an intern who brought coffee. Everyone who works on a game deserves to be credited for their work. Fuck off, Mercury Steam. Fix this. Everyone who did something on the game deserves to be credited. I've also heard there is a game-breaking bug. I didn't experience it. I didn't even look at the spoilers for what it is. So I don't know, but I know they're working on a patch to fix that. Probably before the end of the month, I think they said. But yeah, I liked Metroid Dread. I really did. I haven't been playing, like, I didn't play, like, Fallout 4 or anything else. I really haven't been playing any other games. But I was super impressed with Metroid Dread. And I'll probably play it again. Not probably before the end of the year, but it's definitely not something you just play and forget about. It's just a great experience all around. I enjoyed it. It's got a lot of really great moments. The Emmy stuff, well, a little, like, cause it can kind of get annoying because you're dying so much. It's also just really cool. And, like, there were moments where I was just like, oh, shit. Or early on, you get the bomb. Or no, so normally in most Metroid games, early on, you get the Morph Ball. You don't get the Morph Ball for a good bit in this game. For, like, a good, like, hour or two. And when I finally got the Morph Ball, I was like, finally, yes, the Morph Ball. And there was just this moment of satisfaction when I got the Morph Ball. Or there were certain puzzles, like, once you unlock the power-up to do it, I was like, oh, shit. You can, like, I can now, oh, I've got the power-up. I don't want to say it. I mean, it's, the power-ups you think are there. But it's like, oh, shit, you can do this now. Oh, my gosh. And then there were some where I was just like, how do I do this? And then through trial and error, I figured it out, and I was like, Oh my gosh. Getting 100% was interesting. Like, there are some that are so obtuse. And there's also a great accessibility feature in the game where, like, let's say you come across, like, a door that can only be opened with, like, super missiles, and you don't have super missiles yet. Well, when you unlock super missiles later on in the game, it'll mark it on your map that you've seen a super missile door. So that way you know exactly where to go back and find it. It's in the options. It's the only accessibility thing in the game, which does kind of suck. But I'm glad it's there. I didn't use it personally, but on like a subsequent playthrough, I could totally see myself using that. Just to like save me some time. Because like I was trying to keep memory on it, but there were certain like missile tanks and whatnot where I was like, I know I saw it, but I just don't remember where, and I couldn't find it on the map. And, but, like, having an actual, like, marker that tells you, hey, it's right here, oh, that'd be so convenient. If it works how I think it does. But yeah, Metroid Dread, really good. Really good. So have I've done all these, right? Yeah. So yeah, that's every, I can't believe, I technically don't have every spirit, but I've got close to every spirit. I do actually want to level up, since I usually level up all the 4-star spirits I get. And we did get Roxas, so I would like to level up that one. But yeah, I'm really impressed with Metroid Dread. Great game. And yeah, here's to hope we get more Metroid in the future. I haven't leveled up Arceus, really? I should throw some spirits on here. Yeah, sure. Oh, look at that, the light suit. Yeah, sure. But yeah, there's so many games to play right now. It's gonna be a crazy Game Awards. Because there are so many good games out right now. And I have, of course, my personal picks of what I think should win. But it's a lot. And there's some really good stuff that is totally deserving. I don't even know where I'd find Roxas in all this. Maybe by, oh yeah, there we go. Maybe? Shouldn't it have been the first one? You have Ventus. Oh, you know what I bet it is? I bet it's because they're not getting the bonus. What a nut. Yeah, I don't know. And now, what am I gonna play next? Well, oh, okay. Next, I'm probably gonna go back to Fallout 4. Because now that I have the DLC, which is, again, another thing I bought for like $10. For like pennies on the dollar. I'm probably gonna... and I haven't even downloaded it yet, I just have it. It probably makes sense to go back for that. Am I just going crazy here? Am I taking crazy pills? Whatever, let's just pick something else then. Because I feel like I'm definitely taking crazy pills here. Oh, I never got that. Okay, whatever. But yeah. Oh, wow, that's almost done. Yeah, today was a short stream. God, we didn't even go 2 hours. Actually, I wanted to go back to that spirits. But yeah, So yeah, actual thoughts on Sora. So I guess let's go into the outro right now. Actual thoughts on Sora. God, I hate that those Mario spirits. Bro, the three spirits I'm missing, other than the Sordas, are the Mario Golf spirits. And normally, the old spirits get added in the new update. So it's annoying that I'm not seeing them. Because they should be here. Because, God, they're the only... And I even have Mario Golf. I don't have it installed on the Switch OLED, but I have it. Nope, no new Sordas. But yeah, actual thoughts on Sora. He's good. I mean, he's not my character personally. Like, he's not probably my personal preference. But he's fine. I have no idea what this is. Ariel? I have no idea what this is from or like why I called it that. I know why training is what it is. I know for glory and for fun, time, and stock. Even though I feel like there was something wrong with that one, but I don't remember what. Let's just do a round as somebody else. Let's use our boy Steve. Or Alex. But yeah, I like Sora. He's fine. Definitely not my cup of tea personally. I don't like how slow he is. So that kind of sucks. Or no, not how slow he is. I don't like how light he is, I mean. Like, he's way too light for my liking. Because I usually like a heavier character. And, like, I know Robin doesn't seem like a heavier character. Or even Byleth. But they are. Yeah, in the actual Smash Bros. DLC Fighters Pass, I personally really liked. I said it last week that out of all the characters, I came away pretty good. I got Byleth. I think it was Shiz's who does Boundary Break, who was like, oh, instead of just buying the season passes, they only bought the characters they paid for, and they saved like $10 or whatever. But honestly, I'm fine with spending the extra like 10, $15. If just because I may not like some of these characters, but I know other people who would, in theory, like some of these characters. Like, I know people who like I know people who would probably like Sora. I know people who would probably like, do I know anyone who would like Kazuya? Not really, but yeah. I know people who probably enjoy Steve or Alex. So yeah, and like there are some characters that like Terry who I think is fine, but I would never have thought to use if I hadn't have bought the season pass. So yeah, that's just kind of how it is sometimes. You gotta think about these things. And I definitely do. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this. Okay, I'm terrible at some of these characters. Oh, but yeah, I think I walked away from the Smash Bros. Fighters Pass really on the up and up. I got at least half of the characters I like in some way, shape, or form, and the other half are, yeah, they're fine. They're all good. I don't think of like this bunch. I don't think there's a single bad one. I know people argue about anime sword fighters all day and all night, but no, the anime sword fighters are fine. Who fucking cares? They're fine. People kind of seem to forget that all Smash Bros. Characters can be divided into brawlers, sword fighters, and gunners. Like, sword fighter is literally just a category of Smash Bros. Character. That's just kind of how it works, and I feel like people forget that somehow. That, you know, sword fighter is just one of the types of characters. Because, yeah, basically all characters fall into those three genres. Yeah, I mean, maybe there's one exception I can, like, that you might think of. But really, I can't. I mean, the closest I would guess would be, like, a Rosaluma or something. Who was, like, a puppet character. But really, that's about it. Everything else basically falls into one of those three categories. I was gonna say, do I remember the combos for... No, Terry? Not really. Still love... Oh my... And Terry's stage, so fucking good. And I know people are disappointed over the Mii Fighter costumes. You know what? I'm just happy. People way overblown that out of proportion. Mii Fighter costumes are fine. It's better to have them in as Mii Fighters than just not at all. I say it anyways. Yeah, God, I actually really do like Terry. He's the only like fighting game character I do like. Yeah, anything else? I don't know. I definitely feel like I'm stalling at this point. Next week. Oh God, what are we do? I know I said we were doing something next week, but I don't remember what. Because we have Animal Crossing starts. I've said we're doing Animal Crossing Season 2, and that starts on the 5th of November when the update comes out. Since then I've thought even more about it, and I'm like, you know, I'm just gonna buy the DLC. I don't know how well Animal Crossing Season 2 is gonna go, because again, I'm very busy and whatnot still. But I'm still totally down for right. That's still the plan at this moment. Is still Animal Crossing Season 2. So that happens when that happens. But yeah, did I have any plan for next week? I know I've been wanting to do Pokemon. Because specifically I wanted to do... I've been thinking about it. And I've wanted to do a Nuzlocke. I've also been wanting to replay Breath of the Wild recently. Because I've been watching Point Crow, who does like weird Breath of the Wild challenges and speed runs and whatnot. And but Breath of the Wild is one of those games that like, if that's the one game, that's one of the few games for me that like, oh, you can only ever play this one time. Like you'll never have that first playthrough of Breath of the Wild ever again. And it's like, that's one of like the big regrets, is that I'll never have my first playthrough of Breath of the Wild ever again. But I don't know, I've been watching Point Crow play and I'm like, God, I should play Breath of the Wild again. Because it's so good. Come on, just pop. Oh, hey, it's Spring Dude. Yeah, Dude, did I have anything planned? I thought for a second I did. I don't remember what, though. It wasn't Pokemon. Because, yeah, I've been thinking about... Because I've been thinking... Because I've never done... Well, okay, technically I've done one Pokemon Nuzlocke. And I've been thinking, like, you know what? I should really do a Pokemon Nuzlocke. And I was like, you know, I have Sword and Shield. I should just do Sword and Shield. But then Diamond and Pearl and whatever comes out. So it's like, oh, well, do I just do that instead? And fair enough. Even though I'd rather do a Nuzlocke for Pokemon Sword and Shield, because I think I could fuck up less on that one, because it's in theory an easier game. And again, I don't know. Oh, and then I still have those What If videos that I still just haven't put out yet. That I've just been sitting on for months, weeks now. Haven't put out a single one of those yet. They're all recorded, they just need to be edited, and they're not even that long. I think the longest one is 20 minutes. Yeah, I don't know what we'll do next week. Oh, and then I was gonna go to... The GameStop is giving away the shiny Pokemon this week. Oh, I did it in the wrong direction. Shiny, Zacian and Zamazenta, and I was gonna go and pick it up today, and I just completely forgot. Because, yeah, I should probably get those. I don't know, I haven't been in a GameStop in, like, well over a year. As far as I know, my local GameStop is closed. Like, seriously, I've tried, I think I tried placing, like, an online order at one point, and it was just like, hey, this store isn't open, so all my local GameStops could be closed for all I know. Oh, shoot. Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, I thought they were facing the wrong direction there. Yeah, I also don't really care for Min Min at all. Like, my gosh. I know an important aspect of Min Min is grabbing, but I'm also just terrible at that. Oh, you know what game I also need to play? Skyward... Like, I talked about, like, oh, games I haven't played. Which were, you know, you know, games I need to play, like, basically everything, but Skyward Sword is one of them. Like I bought, Cyberpunk. I don't expect to play it anytime soon. I'd much rather wait for the PS5 patch, which is next year. But, you know, when am I gonna find it again for $5? I mean, probably a lot, especially with Black Friday coming up. But still, you get my gist. Monster Hunter should probably be higher priority, because I just hear the Monster Hunter games just keep getting better and better. And then, of course, there's that PlayStation game I need to play. Okay, that should have finally hit. God. Oh, okay, good. We barely won that one. Yeah. Anything else? There is something I am totally forgetting. But, you know, I wanted today to be a shorter stream, because if I had, like, actually talked and whatnot, we could have totally gone for, like, 3 hours. But yeah, next week is whatever next week is. It's not going to be Smash Bros. It probably won't be Animal Crossing. Probably not Minecraft. Maybe should I do... I haven't played Fall Guys in forever. Since the last time we streamed it and I got to level 50, that was the last time I played Fall Guys, so... It's been a while. Maybe that, probably not. I don't know. We did finish those last 4 levels in Peggle. I still cannot believe we did Peggle in a single night. Oh, that was great. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for the night. Next week we do whatever. I don't know. I'll figure out something. And then after that, Animal Crossing starts on the 5th. Again, things are going to be a little different. We're not going for 365 days this time. But I'm excited to be back in Animal Crossing, at least for a little while. God, November is going to be so fucking busy for me. If I'm doing Animal Crossing, college is going to be so busy in November. I am so fucked. I am absolutely fucked in November. Oh, God. At least Animal Crossing doesn't require any editing. Oh, thank goodness for that, at least. But yeah, I think that's where we gotta end off for the day. I know there's something I'm forgetting. Fuck. Oh, fuck, I didn't talk about Catan. I did win. The game... So I said last week that I was doing a game after the stream last week. I did. The game went for 3+ hours. I think it was like 3.5 hours. I won. Barely. And, okay, not barely, but it just took for fucking ever. And everyone was totally willing to give up. And I was able, and like right as everyone was like, okay, if we don't finish by this time, we're done. And right as it hit that time, I was like, just give me one more turn. And I was able to win in that turn. And one of the players flipped the board because he's a cunt. But yeah. It was a long fucking game. And I love Catan, but it went for too long. Even I can admit that. But yeah, that was Explorers and Pirates. But yeah, Mario Party comes out next week. Fuck. We're not going to stream Mario Party. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time. Peace.